Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. So today, we're unpacking what I can only describe as a pretty terrifying engineering mystery. We're going to focus on a piece of equipment that is, completely invisible to most of us right up until the exact moment it becomes our absolute ultimate safety net out at sea. We're looking at the anatomy of a lifeboat failure. Let's just dive right into the main question here. What actually happens when the very equipment designed to save your life unexpectedly fails and just drops? I mean, imagine you're a crew member on a vessel. Take the passenger ferry Northern Ranger, for instance, which experienced this genuinely terrifying release hook failure. You're just doing a routine procedure, relying completely on these massive steel mechanisms and thick cables. And then, suddenly, the whole system just gives way. This isn't some theoretical problem drawn up in a classroom. It's a real-world nightmare that investigators have spent countless hours trying to dissect. But before we can really play detective and get to the bottom of this forensic mystery, we kind of need to establish the baseline mechanics of it all. At its core, a lifeboat launching mechanism is all about the mechanical transfer of weight. Think about it. You are essentially taking a multi-ton boat, filling it with people, and then trying to smoothly transfer all that load from the ship's massive steel fall cables down into the dynamic, constantly moving surface of the sea. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, the engineering actually required to pull this off safely, especially under extreme stress, is remarkably complex.
So there are two primary ways these lifeboats actually detach from a massive ship. You've got the offload mechanism and the onload mechanism. Now, the offload system is fairly straightforward. It's designed to release only when the boat touches the water and that heavy weight is totally removed from the cables. But let's contrast that with the onload system. This mechanism is different. It actually allows the crew to pull a lever inside the boat to release it while it's still suspended in the air, typically at about a meter above the water, with the full load still pulling on the full wires. And this is absolutely crucial. If you're trying to escape a ship fire or launch into really rough, violently pitching seas, you simply can't afford to remain attached and get dragged along by the mothership.
Okay, so the stakes here are captured perfectly in this direct quote from the U.S. Coast Guard's February 2020 Marine Safety Alert. It says, "The Coast Guard is currently investigating a casualty involving the unintended on-load release of a lifeboat hook." Let that sink in for a second. An unintended on-load release. Think about what that literally means. The boat is fully loaded, it's suspended in midair, and it just lets go, drops. This is exactly the catastrophic scenario that these on-load mechanisms are supposed to carefully, precisely control. And that brings us to a deeply chilling detail that the investigators uncovered. The control cable, which is the vital physical link running between the release handle, operated by the crew, and the actual hook holding the boat, well, it had known damage. In fact, this damage was explicitly noted prior to the incident, and yet the equipment was left active. It stayed in service. It's just this stark, glaring reminder that when you're dealing with complex systems, ignoring what looks like a minor flaw can completely invite a major disaster. To really understand this, let's look at a sort of stop-motion forensic breakdown of the failure. This is based on a Coast Guard laboratory test that simulated the exact incident. Notice the release handle on the left side. See how it's in the locked, fully closed position? The operator hasn't even touched it. But if you track down to the cable leading away from that handle, you can see it is visibly, clearly damaged. Now watch what happens when external forces act on that damaged cable. The outer layers of the cable actually separate. They pull apart. Because that outer casing was compromised, the traveling inner member of the cable suddenly becomes exposed. So as those outer layers pull apart, they end up tugging on that inner rod. And the crazy thing is, this simulates a pull on the lever, but entirely without any human actually touching or interacting with the release handle. This perfectly illustrates the catastrophic chain reaction we're talking about. Because that inner cable was pulled by the fraying outer layers, the cable's end rod, which sits right at the hook, moves. And that slight movement rotates the locking shaft inside the hook just enough to bypass the mechanical interlocks. The result? The hook suddenly releases. It opens right up and drops the boat, even though the handle on the complete other side of the system was completely locked down. When you look at this extreme close-up of the severed, frayed cable layers, it really hits home a fundamental engineering reality. A massive, multi-ton steel safety system is literally entirely at the mercy of its weakest link. That's it. This small, damaged section of control cable was all it took to completely bypass every single other safety interlock built into the system. So, to prevent a repeat of this disaster, the Coast Guard immediately issued some very urgent directives. First, They strongly recommended thorough inspections of all control cables. But more importantly, they now require the immediate replacement of any cables showing signs of wear or damage to any of their layers. It is no longer enough to just document that wear exists on a clipboard. A strict inspection regime has to be implemented to actually catch and replace these components right away. Oh, and they also heavily emphasize consulting the operations manual before doing any launch and recovery drills.
And speaking of drills, this actually leads us to a moment of dark irony when it comes to maritime safety. It's a situation I like to call the safety pin paradox. Basically, practicing safety procedures incorrectly can actually end up creating the exact life-threatening situations they were designed to prevent in the first place. Here's how this paradox plays out in practice. During training drills, crews often use safety pins to provide an extra layer of protection. These pins physically stop the hook-locking shaft from rotating, meaning the boat cannot accidentally drop while the crew is just practicing. Great, right? Well, here is the massive however. Lifeboats must absolutely be stowed in a ready-to-launch condition, meaning without those safety pins in place. If a crew wraps up a routine drill and forgets to pull those pins out, that lifeboat is completely trapped on those cables. If a real chaotic emergency happens, that boat is not going to release. Period. This is exactly why the Coast Guard issued such a bold mandate to the industry. Marine inspectors, investigators, surveyors, and servicing technicians, they all have to maintain an acute, constant awareness of these life-or-death maintenance nuances. It is not just about ticking a box on a routine inspection sheet. It's about fully grasping the cascading consequences of something as small as a single frayed cable or a single forgotten safety pin.
But look, this explainer isn't just about pointing out flaws and doom and gloom. It's also about the solutions. So let's shift gears and look forward. We're going to see how the maritime industry is actively engineering its way out of these vulnerable physical cable-based systems entirely. We are currently witnessing an incredible, much-needed upgrade to our ultimate safety net.
Enter systems like the Viking Nadiro Drop-In Ball 32. Honestly, this is modern maritime engineering at its absolute finest. Instead of relying on these highly vulnerable control cables that can fray and pull, this system uses a hydraulically powered release mechanism. It boasts a massive 3,250 kilogram capacity. But the thing that's truly elegant here is its design. It actually uses gravitational forces to keep the hook closed, which adds a totally natural layer of safety. Plus, when you need to recover the boat, it features this incredibly intuitive, safe, and easy click-in system. It's a textbook example of engineering out the very vulnerabilities that caused accidents in the past. So this all brings us to a final, slightly provocative thought. Does mechanical complexity inherently create hidden vulnerabilities? And are we really doing enough to inspect our safety nets? As we've seen today, the line between a flawless safety mechanism and a total catastrophic failure can be as incredibly thin as a single frayed layer of cable. It really challenges us to look a little closer at the invisible engineering all around us, whether it's in the planes we fly, the elevators we ride in every day, or the lifeboats we hope to never ever use. I hope this leaves you wanting to explore and learn a bit more about the mechanical systems you rely on daily. Thanks for joining me on this explainer today.